Well, night 3 of the Republican National Convention will begin soon, but we wanted to fact check some of the claims that were made during night 2. Our verified team looked into it. Here's Jason Puckett.
Let's start tonight with a claim from Sissy Graham Lynch, the granddaughter of evangelist Billy Graham.
President Trump became the first president to talk about the importance of religious freedom at the United Nations.
This is false. President Trump did talk about religious freedoms at the United Nations in 2019, but he was not the first president to do so. We searched past presidents' addresses to the United Nations and found that President Obama, Bush Jr. and Sr., and Ronald Reagan all talked directly about religious freedoms at the United Nations. Next, a claim from Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
My father, on the other hand, delivered the largest tax cuts in American history.
This claim is false. According to data and analysis by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, Ronald Reagan's 1981 tax cut holds the title as largest. They took congressional budget data and adjusted it for inflation. President Trump's 2017 tax cut was the 12th largest as a percent of gross domestic product and the 4th largest in real dollars. And finally, a claim from President Trump himself. He didn't speak directly tonight, but he made this statement in a video clip.
The women's unemployment rate had plummeted to the lowest level in more than 65 years. And last year, over 70% of the new jobs went to women.
This claim is true. President Trump said this quote while signing a proclamation on the anniversary of the 19th Amendment last week. Federal Reserve economic data shows that in late 2019 and early 2020, women's unemployment had dropped to its lowest level since 1953, about 65 years. And data published by the White House and Bureau of Labor Statistics show that there were about 2.1 million jobs added in 2019. 1.5 million of those went to women. That's about 70%. Folks, there's more from both nights of the RNC up on our website. If you have more claims or questions you want us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.